Good evening, everybody. It's definitely steamy in the Seattle area, so we're gonna hear some airplane noise tonight. Okay, so where were we last? Um, we're trying to get this memory system working, and by working I mean we're trying to replace our notes.md files, and we haven't quite gotten there yet, but we will. All right, let's see where it got to from here. The right side is expensive cognition. Recall is cheap. The CM add requires the agent to identify is this a rule, etc. Playbook bloat is a real recall tax. Notes is a chronicle. Really? I didn't know that that's what it was. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Non-deterministic judgment moments where cognition could go wrong without context. Um, Surprises, I guess you could say. Thresholds and rules of thumb. Cheap to follow but expensive to derive. Anti-patterns. Mistakes that were made. Okay. I think what I was assuming was that notes is a crude version of memories. And the reason why is that notes just seem to be like memories, but in the stupidest possible format with no inbuilt searching other than grep or, whatever. Today, the decision is formed by the notes file. Most of those calls would return empty and burn tokens. Front load the relevant playbook subset. Okay. And it's there's a little bit of text repeating here. Okay. Let the agent self-consult mentally during cognition without round-tripping to CM again. Okay. Do the conformance check. Get context. Do specialist work. Okay. Um, I'm okay with trying this approach. Um, let's talk about notes for one more second. I didn't think of it as a log before, and that does seem altered. I didn't think of it as a log before. That does seem to alter the purpose of it. At some point, does it make sense to reread the log for patterns? I think humans would do the same. I think humans would do the same and think of patterns and think of similar tasks as perhaps ascending into a, or is it descending into a run book of manual steps, and then run books graduating into deterministic tools that perfectly run all of those steps. The criteria for doing that were usually how tedious the run book was to walk through, the importance of running error-free with a checklist, or 3 times saved. Sometimes we could not justify writing a tool instead of just manually doing the run book once. Humans can remember the annoyance of redoing tedium, but agents don't seem to experience tedium. It seems like other signals might be needed, such as detecting when the agent made a mistake or burned a lot of tokens to do a task. Do we have that kind of data in the log? Very informed by my own experience, I would say. All right, we're doing one of these. Nuri maze, we have to go through the circles. We can't go through the triangles. We have to shade or unshade all of the regions in this whole puzzle. And we're trying to make a path from the start to the goal that goes through all the circles. There can't be any 2x2 areas of either black or white. I think that's probably most of the rules. I think all the white has to be connected. So it's going to kind of make a tree, but that doesn't mean that we have to go through all of the white squares. Like there's a dead end right here. We can kind of bypass it. But it's sort of like we're creating a maze that has a single solution. Well, that has a start to end solution. Okay, periodic reread. A periodic reflection pass. Signals we have today versus don't. We've got repetition, cache hit and misses, wall clock time. We have some. These are times, I think. Verified at, answered at. Jonathan Blow's new game just finally downloaded and installed. The demo. We'll see what that's about. It is called Order of the Sinking Star. I'm looking forward to it. I like his games. I liked The Witness. Let's see. Question similarity clustering. We don't have anything like that. We don't have token cost of cognition. We might be able to get this somewhere. Number of passes, struggling. The agent doesn't say, I'm having a hard time. Although I think I've seen it sometimes say, that's not working, or I made a mistake, or something like that. Hmm. So we can get tokens from the SDK. We might be able to backfill them too. Yeah, I mean, this is good. This is the kind of stuff that we're trying to do, right? We're trying to gain advantages on these puzzles, noticing economic inefficiencies, and picking the right approach. And there might be multiple approaches, and they should race kind of to see which one is the best. So we've got the idea of city averages, which is okay, but maybe we're just going to be having competitions between different prototypes and strategies, and trying different things, exploring, and trying to see where the savings are. Sure, let's write up. Let's write up the pilot. I can see that it comes under the general heading of making institutional knowledge in departments and in departments bootstrapping experience in tasks. Token spend seems to be important, but I'm not sure how expensive it is to go get that from the SDK. These are priorities of mine to test out the specialization work we are doing. Specializations we are trying to make. So yeah, maybe I've been spinning my wheels trying to create specialization where none is required. Maybe it's not actually cheaper. We would want to know, right? So we should run this kind of experiment. One side question. We have lots of beads from e.g. the antiquarian, and it has done hundreds of tasks to ingest and refine the catalog. I would think that some patterns should emerge. All right. This is kind of a dead end too. I'm thinking about things like if we darkened these, then we would definitely have to put dots here and here and here. Just to avoid 2x2 areas. Ah, didn't see this one before. Have to darken this to avoid a 2x2 area. I'm not seeing too many opportunities right now to like cut off a white area. That's the other big rule we're supposed to be using, right? Is the white cells must form orthogonally connected area. The white cells form a network of paths. The paths must be one cell wide and must not form a loop. That's interesting too. So we didn't read that totally clearly, but certainly if we colored this white, we'd have to go black here. And if we colored this white, then we'd have to go black here. This not forming a loop thing is kind of intriguing me because it kind of looks like we're starting to form a loop, doesn't it? Like on the left side of this S, if this continues up here, it doesn't like dead end. But we know it can't dead end. This can't dead end. It's it's going to be, it's got to go through this circle, right? So it's really not allowed to dead end. Ah, interesting. If it's not allowed to dead end and we colored this black, then this would dead end. So it can't be colored black. The reason it would dead end is that it was hemmed in by blocked out areas in this triangle. Now we can't pick both of these. One of them has to be blacked out. So we are in sort of in danger of causing a loop. Like if we connected up these two, and possibly this one here, right? So maybe we can't do that. Maybe it's going to get blocked off by this X. Like we could imagine a path that kind of goes all the way around like this. It might like meander over here somewhere, but eventually it would come in here and then it would hit the goal. I mean, this has got to be connected, right? Again, there's no way that we can block this all off and make it a dead end because the true path has to go through here from S to G somehow. We're going to color one of these squares white up here in this area 4, just so that there won't be a 2 by 2 black area. Now, the white squares have to be connected, but I don't think there's a law that says that the path has to go through. There could be triangles on part of the path. Not all the triangles are black, right? Yeah, cells marked with triangle must not be blackened. Oh, I haven't really been using that rule yet, but look at this. This is also all true. We can't blacken these. And this would have made like a lot of our life simpler at times. All right, cool. So this is kind of interesting now. Now we can't make, let's read the loop thing again really carefully. The paths must be one cell wide and must not form a loop. The cells form a network of paths. So not the triangle thing, but just the cells themselves. Okay. So now the dead endiness of this has kind of been dealt with a little bit. All right. Look at what happened because we can't color triangles black. Do this. This kind of stuff. Like I said, we're going to have to connect either this one or this one. It's not totally obvious which one yet. Okay. Let's return. Okay. Okay, we can reflect not only on our chronicle of notes, but on our beads. We can just look at our beads without having to go and read stuff, without having to go and get token costs. Cool. One other question. We might be able sure, you can run the pilot, run the manual reflection. It occurred to me that we might have timestamps on beads. Well, some of them, if not outliers, caused by interruption of session, etc., might be proxies for token. We can ask the Claude code guide about the per session cost. We might even be able to learn this function, right? The idea is there might be some relationship between bead time and token cost, and we could approximate that with a function approximation technique. This is more like classic ML kind of thing, where we use statistical patterns in the data to make predictions and see how our predictions do and refine them. Wow, already June 15th. I haven't played my calendar puzzle for a while. A few weeks. I think I've shown this off on stream before, but got a little puzzle we can play. Boo. It's a 5 omino puzzle that if you solve it can show the current date. Some of the dates are harder than others. Today wasn't too hard. Or was it? Oh, I'm not there yet. The repetition signal is overwhelming. I'm still whelmed, but it sounds like there's a lot of patterns that we can look at. And this was happening because we were doing like batches of 10 and that kind of thing. We should have learned a lot along the way when we did 500, when we ingested hundreds of things into our catalog. And so, I don't know. I've had a lot of fun with this project because we're sort of learning, but we're also learning how to learn. We've looked at lots and lots of game puzzle designs by hand, and we're also learning how to learn them. There is a confusing rule here. The paths must be 1 cell wide, and neither the black nor the white cells may cover an area of 2 by 2 cells or larger. I've been trying to think about when this would lead you to believe something different than must not cover an area of 2 by 2 cells. There's something funny that happens with the must not form a loop and must go through the circles. So, like, there can't be a path where, since we're not forming a loop, right? We've connected up this start and this circle. So there is no path that will take us all the way back around to start. So we know that the solution has to go this way, because it can't go in reverse, right? So we know that we can't fill in this with white space, because this would end the loop too fast. We get from the start to the goal, and we're not forming a loop. So there is no sort of alternate path to circle around. The alternate path itself would form a loop. Now I'm just following some 2 by 2 rules and knowing that this has to be the path to the goal. And knowing that we can't go to the goal until we hit this other circle somehow. By a similar token, we can't make straight from the start to the goal, because that would make a loop too. We'd have 2 alternate ways to get through here. Okay. I think that was like the last insight that we needed, probably. We could come through this way or this way. But we need a dot here. And here we're following 2 by 2 rules. Okay. So now it's plain. What's the path from start to goal? It's this way. We did that part. And we just have to mop up this part up here. All of the dots are connected right now. So we cannot fill in this one. It would form a loop. And this one too. Same reason. Now we have a 2x2 rule. All right, well, there we go. That's our answer. It got better as we went along. Timestamps are proxies. With the 24-hour artifact, you anticipated swallowed all 258 tag beads. The repetition count carried the signal anyway. There's moderate cost to capture token costs. There's result messages or post hoc parsing of the transcripts. Oh, well, we are post-processing the transcripts a little bit already, right? We're backing them up to Google Drive. And so instead of just running rclone, we could annotate them or do what we want. Tidal pattern clustering is the dominant signal. I'm sort of bugged that it might have, it looks like text was cut off a little bit. Hard to see. Candidates compose. Mechanism should surface dependency hints. I'm not sure what it meant by this. Chronicle is small but rich. Step beads are voluminous but mechanical. They do both contribute distinct bucket types. It took about 10 minutes to go through all this stuff. Bulk operations expressed as per item beads, palette framework overhead. Yes. I think the bulk anti pattern is important, although it seems like our system should be able to handle it. That is, this system should be able to juggle or create hundreds of tasks. Ideally, maybe the performance issues were an artifact of running an earlier version with some resource leaks. but it's good to turn these lessons into follow-ups for the antiquarian. Ideally, I would not be in the loop for this as the company CEO. I don't mandate the local innovations or simplifications inside a department. It should be done by those gaining the expertise and saving the time. Maybe the meta question is how to keep these reviews and reflections contained. That's how this would work if the antiquarian department were truly running independently. It seems like it would have a periodic task to do what you did and update its tool set and rules. Yep. Yeah, this looks very familiar to me. Pretty sure we figured it all out. That's Norimezu. And please, if I'm pronouncing something horrible, I'm happy with being corrected. Paint area. Paint area. Blacken some, either black or white. The number of black cells in the orthogonally adjacent cells. Okay, that's interesting. No 2x2s. Black cells are a single contiguous area. Okay. All right, so we do the adjacent ones first. Very easy. And when we color in one in the region, we have to color in all. We're doing the ones adjacent to 4s because all 4 of them need to be taken. Okay, and then we've got some 2x2 rules to account for. And I've got to get 2 next to this one. All the black has to be contiguous, but it seems like it left this square ambiguous. Like, can't I color it black or white? Maybe I've missed something in the rules. Can you not color numbers? No, you have to be able to do this for. We put an X here, we gotta carry it through. This is an interesting one. If we colored this white, then there'd be 2 white squares to the side of this 3. So it's not white, it looks like this. If this is black, then this is white. And if this, well, this can't be black, it's gotta be white. Because that's a 2x2 roll. Again, I'm sort of concerned that this can be black or white. Maybe, and I feel like I'm missing a rule. Oh, it's this 2 right here. 1, 2. Okay, that's better. It's this 2 right here. 1, 2. There we go. It's weird to be like crossing out the clues I need to read. Let's see what it wants. Okay. The framework should handle hundreds of bead operations cleanly. And it seems like we were having old version problems. Department independence. Should be in the Inkle Metal store owned by Antiquarian on the department's backlog. This mechanism is scoped as a city task that Mayor initiates. It should be a department internal periodic reflection, a molecule that the intake can dispatch on, triggered by cron or threshold without Mayor's involvement. The only edit I would make to this is that inside of Gas City, orders basically form the periodic formula construct. So it's already built in. CO level, what it remains is the organizational structure. The API evolution fragment gives departments their own authority. Tier 1. Tier 1 means something totally different to me. To evolve their own tool set. What's missing is a primitive for periodic self-reflection. Cool. Periodic trigger, do your self-reflection, and then normal intakes. The mayor appears only if a candidate needs cross-department work. Mm-hmm. Okay. Who builds the tools? Just somebody who builds tooling all the time. So lots of my companies had software tools departments. They were building tools for builders though. And are these agents builders or are they product owners? It's like a little hard to say. Okay. Um yeah. I think your next moves are roughly right. Um now one wrinkle I will add is that we have a Gas City primitive to do scheduling of formulas. It is called orders. Not a great jargon term. very overloaded, but not my choice. I can point to this in the docs. Somewhere. Inch docs, architecture, orders. Okay. And I think we looked at this when we did our sort of architecture docs review long, many sessions ago. But yeah, we basically got a controller tick. We've got the orders themselves and dispatching. Take a look at the docs. Yeah, I do think the departments should build their own tools. Whether they delegate to a common tool builder or to a specific sub-agent within their department is a common organizational question. In human companies, we might have only one UX designer charged to work fractionally on multiple products. But dedicated engineers for each product. In our agent landscape, this might be a little different. There are pros and cons to making multiple similar agents or pools of agents. Sharing lessons learned in a community of practice versus developing expertise on the engineering problems specific to a product area. We might be able to figure out when to do each one. I'm open to either approach or both for testing or experimentation. All right. One thing that it hasn't totally been doing for me yet is taking both paths. Okay. Oh yeah, we were well on our way on this puzzle, I think. One of these three has to be color, the rest empty. This 2 determines the value of that 4 there. I don't know, it's felt a little bit mechanical so far, this one. I feel like the other major rule that we haven't totally gotten is does all the shaded squares connect to each other? I guess this was also determined by a 2 by 2 rule. I was trying to follow a chain of implications related to marking this X. It was pretty long. I mean, that sort of suggests that maybe it's a good hypothesis to check out. So here we have to mark this one to make the 2 right, and then we have to mark these like so. We'd have to mark this by a 2 by 2 rule. We have to mark one of these and one of these. Here's a 2 by 2 rule. All the X's on this bottom side are connected. We're about to cut off. Oh no, we've cut off this black X from the main though. See, the dots here connected up to. No wait, I guess we'd have to get it out this way. I'm wrong. I interpreted the numbers as white, but they're not necessarily white. But so we have to help this X patch here escape. We could go this way. This would be a dot, and this would be a dot. Everything would be connected. We'd pick one of these. I mean, all the X's are connected now. Have I made some weird 2 by 2s anywhere? The puzzle underdetermined. That's another sort of clue that we did something wrong, right? Why would it be true that these were forced? I'm not seeing a lot of reason why they would. I guess we could try the other way. That would be like this. Ah, well, there's a problem. One that I wasn't looking at earlier. This definitely has to be a dot. That changed things much. We need to get 2 of these and 1 of these. If this were dotted, then we'd have to fill in all 3 of these. Okay, let's get a take. Orders fits beautifully. Triggering is framework primitive, not an agent. Good. We have rig scoped tracking. A city level reflects self. The order definition lives down here in orders. Each department can pick its own cadence without touching shared formula code. Now, this I meant as a sort of general topic about what is my place in all of this, but it's interesting how it's put sort of our slash its tools into shipping the primitive or shipping the pattern. Okay, the human company analogy breaks in interesting ways for agents. Sharing knowledge across departments isn't free. Humans share via lunch conversations and Slack. Agents share by deliberate artifacts, fragments, rules, or formulas. The community of practice benefit of a shared tool builder comes from artifacts that they author once, not from incidental cross pollination. Cloning is cheap. Headcount budget isn't the constraint. Drift is expensive. Two toolsmith agents will diverge over time, which is bad if you want consistency and good if you want specialization. So, yeah, this is like a eternal puzzle. There's no right answer, you know. Specialization is largely prompt level. The cost difference between a shared toolsmith with NRIG context and N dedicated toolsmiths is mostly prompt and capabilities config, not infrastructure. I would buy this too. Okay, so here we go, the best of both worlds. Let's see what it has to say. And I might need a hydrate here just in a second. Okay, we've got department owns its own in-domain tooling. This is antiquarian only. City owns infrastructure tooling. That makes sense. A city tool right agent or mayor with, we could say, permission. Yeah, is this artifact's value confined to one domain or shared? Yeah, good. Good. Yeah, I think this is good. I think we're in agreement, broad agreement about how it's supposed to work. When Antiquarian's intake processes its backlog, it'll pick these up like any other work. Good. I don't remember if its charter says you can do all these kinds of work. That's the only thing we might have to add. No pre-commitment to make. We will see them. Great. Um, let's let's see here. We're 318K tokens out of a million. That seems okay. And we're running 4.7, which I think is just I don't think I've been seeing. Oh, you know what? I we crossed a major version boundary on trusting taps. Um, The latest version is installed? Really? Huh. We did read this the other day, but I might have trusted Claude Code at some point. That tap. But... Okay. Let's we could do a handoff. Plan to start this D1 and D3. On CM and self-reflection. The next smear. On CM and self-reflection. Oops. I keep not being able to scroll. Okay. Cool. Thanks, Mayor. It seems weird to think that this dot could change everything, but let's run our experiment again. Two by two rules. Lots of forced moves here. Ah, interesting. When this dot came in, then this 2 had to cause these crossouts here. This 3 is like so. We still seem to be in that funny place where... Oh no, maybe not. If we put a dot here, we'll cut off these x's from the main. So it's got to be an x. Now everything's fully connected. We've got these 2's. This 3 is causing a dot right here on this 4. And this 2 is causing... well... Oh, we need a dot on this 4 for 2 by 2 rule. And then finally this 2 is causing an x right here. There we go. So that one does work. And we can kind of rely on the fact that there's a unique solution. just for fun, we could go back through and say, what happens if we put 2 dots here? What's the problem with that? And we'd probably have to work out the fact that maybe this 2 dots and this 2 dots causes X's in weird spots and it overloads and we can't have it. All right, Painto area. I think that other puzzles in this vein have done it better, to be honest. Other Nurikabes are better. This one got really tough, Nuribo, with all of the straight line. Like we were doing tons and tons of like hypothesis testing and backtracking to do this one. All right. Cool. Did you check your hand off? I shouldn't be asking it to do this. Um oh. So this is where my prompt stops. These are the bead memories. This is about cross-store stuff. API evolution added by default. Um, did you check that? Be the workflow keyword reminder. I'm not really seeing that. I think that might be a Claude thing. Maybe some of this stuff is clearer in the updated prompts and things that I'm supposed to be pulling in. Okay. Okay. Sure, sure. That's fine. All right, and away we go. Maybe I just need to tell it to take me out of the loop. Pipe link. Hyperlink. Hyperlink. Draw a single closed loop. We must use all given sections and can cross myself and anywhere. Okay. Sort of a simpler version of some of the ones that we really liked, like the Ice Barns one. And again, if you are a super fan of this stream and you want to see 40 hours of ice skating and stuff, it's all there. It's waiting. All right. Oh, do we have to go in every cell? Must pass through all cells. Okay, there we go. All right, thought so. So we're going to be exploiting the fact that we need to go through every cell. And we're going to exploit the fact that if you get halfway into a cell, you have to get to the center, like all of these that I'm drawing right now. This stuff's all mandatory. We're also going to exploit the fact that you can't go 3 directions on an edge cell. So for instance, like this is like you can't draw a sort of there'd be a branching if I came through here, but I have to go through this cell, so I've got to use this, right? So this can definitely take a while. But I think we figured out the method to the madness, though. Like, you might ask, like, why didn't they put all of these in beforehand for you? Why are they making you draw all this? The answer is that they sort of wanted to leave the blank cells indeterminate. Now notice that in some of our looping puzzles, we just have to keep going this way. But because we can cross, we can't tell if we need to go left or cross down. On the edge, it's a slightly different story. You know, this stuff. You know, this stuff. And the corners are like that too, incidentally. We have to go through all of the corners and they all look like this. Okay. Working hard. Oops. There we go. So yeah, we're learning not very much yet at this phase of the puzzle. Very mechanical so far. Okay. Is it about to get interesting? I think the main things that we're trying not to do in this puzzle, we're trying not to close any loops early. Right, so like if we make a closed loop somewhere, like right here, we couldn't run this down because the puzzle would be over. This would be too small of a loop and unincorporate everything. So we know it can't go down. This one has to go to this side. We know we have to go through. We can't fork on the edge, so we've got to make a new corner right here. And here's a new corner right here. Now, we don't have any such restriction in the middle, so we can't tell that there's a corner right here. Still working hard. I think that you could probably draw a series of loops that would cause like an ambiguity about where part of the loop was, or where it was going, or where it started and ended, or if it could go forever in a circle, that kind of thing. This is kind of interesting. If we go up this way, right, we're obliged to keep crossing to here. And then we've got these two ends dangling out here. They probably have to both cross this way just to avoid closing the loop early. And then this one has to keep going down here to here. Oh yeah, I guess we are seeing a certain elbows here in the puzzle too, right? Like this isn't a plus, so we definitely can't go from this cell to this cell. And same down here. So that implies that this is a little corner of its own. We can get this out. If we get it to the right, then it's sort of double loop next to each other. It's kind of weird, right? Yeah, I don't think that's going to be legal. I'm pretty sure it has to escape out here. But instead of kind of thinking out whether that's true or not, we'll like approach it from another part of the puzzle later. If this one came in here, then it would have to cross over here. I can start drawing these in if it would help. We had to draw this one because we know that there can be nothing on either side of this straight square. It's not a plus, right? And so we can draw something on the other side because we can never have three edges into the same square. We can have two or four, but not three. Oh, we have to go through this square. I mean, I think that's instructive. Then that means we got to do this and this. But in order to avoid closing this loop, well, it could be expanded on some of these other sides. This is kind of helping though. There we go. Here we go. Okay, as suspected. But I think going west would create an ambiguous loop. It would close early. I'm pretty sure we can't go west. It's got to go east. Okay, this is helpful right here. Got to take this one. Ah, well now we're in the pickle that we were looking for. If this is not to be the loop, then both of these have to extend. Like so. We're still in the using every cell phase. That's what's helping us out here. If these two do meet, then they have to cross. That's kind of how that works. Okay, let's see how the mayor's doing. Right now it's trying to set up an order. So a scheduled formula that will run periodically. Ah, Here we go. Should have checked this sort of stuff out before. Now we know this one can go through because we're doing our predetermined information just a little bit better. Now this would definitely well, I've been forced into doing this, this, so I'm forced to make the branch right here to avoid making that sort of the last loop. Okay, so far so good. If I went this way, then that would be a little loop and there's no way to get out of it. I'm pretty sure that we can't go down through here because it would cause some weird double looping. And if that's so, I mean, we'd have some branches flying like so. Have another one trying to sort of escape out this way, maybe. Possibly down this way. I think what's kind of neat about this puzzle... here's an interesting one. Gotta go this way and this way. Gotta continue it like that. What's neat about this puzzle is that you don't think that it should eliminate so many possibilities all the time. But then you see something that really does limit the possibilities. I think drawing the X's is kind of helping me do that. So up to there it was forced. We're not sure if we have to keep going over here. Okay, okay. Okay, there we go. That's helpful. We gotta go this way. All right. And it gets tempting, as always, in this kind of puzzle to go. Can I just write the solution at some point? I just went through connecting this down and then across and then up. And it's sort of like we've made it to the next square, but we've kind of, we're still in the same predicament. This is helpful. Gotta do this one. To avoid making it a loop, we've got to cross them. That means cross this one. That means this. And to avoid making this a loop, we've got to cross them again. There's some kind of dead end crossing there. And we're also determining the conditions under which we're not going to cross things. So I'm just obeying this no three paths rule. No three ways about it. If I make these connect, is the puzzle over? Like I said, I think that weird stuff happens if you go down there. double looping and things. And now we get the fun of tracing our loop from wherever we want to wherever we want. Yeah. And I think the basic rule is that if you can turn or cross, then you must turn or cross. And that's where we started. That was more fun than I thought, but it was a little more mechanical than I thought too. Like, I drew a lot of X's on here. Okay. I think it's trying to tell me about we were sort of going to write the formula into the city level, if you recall, and the orders into the rig level or the department level. Ah, the prescribed nested directory that was pack v1. Cool. Okay. So it's figuring this stuff out. Slowly, but at least I'm not having to reteach it all. Maybe I do need to be telling it, hey, use cast when you get confused. Look at previous conversations for context if necessary. It's a little wasteful, but I mean, I did create all of those tasks. We did have all those conversations. Okay. Move the black squares horizontally or vertically without changing direction, such a way that the black cells form rectangular areas greater than 1 by 1. A black cell with a number must be moved exactly as far as the number indicates. At most, one path may pass through a cell. Okay, yeah. Black cells don't go through the black cells, and black areas in the end must not touch each other orthogonally. Diagonally is allowed. Not my super favorite, but all right. It's going to be hard to draw this, but let's do our best. Okay, and I shall be right back. Water break. All right. Still working hard? I think the right way to think about the notation for this puzzle is we're going to be drawing lines and we're going to be drawing final shaded boxes. Can we move a box if it doesn't have a number? Yes. Not staring too hard at the solution. So we're going to move this guy to here. And we got to move this guy over to here. Because there's no way to move it 3 otherwise. This guy moves to here. We've got to move this guy to here. I guess the other problem then is, what if we're not in a rectangle? So like, for instance, this one right now is not in a rectangle. If we slide it over and slide this down, I guess that would work fine. Do we have to move everything? Greater than 1 by 1. Okay, 1 by 1s are illegal. That's not going to work. I see. Okay. So we've got, so the problem we have is we've got a 1 by 1 right here, and we have to give it a friend. It's got to be this friend right here, or this friend right here. This 0 can't move, but it needs a friend too. It could be this one, or maybe this one. And we can't move the boxes through each other. I think the only one that can become this 3's friend is this box right here. So since we've got 2, this is sort of like Nerdy Bow that we did. Can't have 2 rectangular areas meeting at a corner. Now the only one that can get to this 2 box is right here. The only one that can get to this 1 box, or the 0 box, right? Be this one. We got to move this 1 box out of the way, so it doesn't mess up the. We don't have any way to move something back into the 1 box's vacated spot. Then we need to move this one to be the buddy of the 1 box. And finally, we need to move this guy to be the buddy of the 2 box. So yeah, in our final thing, we didn't have to move all the boxes, but we did. And we ended up with these x's. You can see they meet diagonally, and they're all greater than 1 by 1. But yeah, none of them are facing each other. Pretty sure that's how it's got to be. So we've got right. Well, I guess we go in order. Down, right, nothing. Right, down, down, right. Right, right, down, up. down, right. See, they've done their notation backwards from my point of view. This is where it came from instead of where it's going. Down, right, down, right, down, right, 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 up. And we can also check the final configuration of the boxes. So it's like nothing, 2, 3, 4, 6, 4, 6, 1, 2, 5, 5. Nothing, 2, 3, 4, 6, 4, 6, 1, 2, 5, 5. Yeah, there you go. Like I said, not a favorite. Roma. This is interesting. Place an arrow pointing north, south, east, or west. The arrows must point to different directions in the side of a region. So no two norths in the same region. Starting with any cell, following the arrows from cell to cell, the sequence must end in a black circle. That is interesting. This whole thing is sort of like a vector field, 2D vector field. And it's like no matter where you drop the leaf, it's going to blow into the tornado. Or maybe it's all roads lead to Rome, right? Something like that. Okay, how are we doing, Mayor? It's making templates, which is good, I think, usually. This is probably the hardest it's worked independently for me for a while. I think what's interesting about this puzzle for me is that we can, like up here in the top, we can sort of start drawing these lines of force, right? It would be, here's an interesting one. We draw an up arrow right here. It goes straight into the tornado. But that leaves the left arrow here. And we've got the left arrow hitting the right arrow. It just go back and forth forever. That can't be right. It doesn't say that explicitly in the rules, but I'm absolutely sure that would be a rule. Like this one can't be up. It's got to be something else. This one also can't be up. Can't lead you off the grid. And since the other ones are taken, it's got to be like this. This one can't be left, down, or right. So it has to be up. It would clash here, here, and here. This one can't be up, right, or down. So it has to be left. And this one can't be left, right, or down. It has to be up. If we put a right here, then this part would go in a circle. So it's got to be a left. So we're avoiding creating cycles, which is interesting. Down or right both seem like they would work. Or right, not down, but up or right. That's a little weird. Like, I'm not sure what to make of this yet. It seems like both up and right have to work. Oh, right, but there's no right. We can't go left, we can't go down. We can't repeat right, so we have to go up. There we go. That's the end of my confusion. If we go down, we're going to create a cycle. Can't go left or right, so it has to be up. Well, this can't be a down. Can't be a left or an up. It has to be a right then. No left. So it has to be an up. No left, down, or up, which would be a repeat. It is kind of fun finding cycles. Um, this doesn't look quite right to me. Um, it might be instrumenting to understand something that's going on. Okay, you're right. See, I don't really want to be looking over his shoulder all day, though. No up or right. Got to be a left or a down. No left or up. It has to be a down or a right. I mean, up, left, down is the most appealing way to do it, but I don't know if that's right. This one needs to have all 4. Left, down and up. It can't be right or down. It has to be left. Maybe my brain has gone to mush. Now we can't have down because that would create a cycle. So our choices are, we can't go right into this other one. Can't go left. We're left with up. Now we can't go down because that would create a cycle. We can't go left. We have to go up. Can't go down. Yeah. We can't go down. That would create a cycle. We can't go left, and we can't go right. We can't go right. That would create a cycle. Can't go down. Can't go left. Forced to go up. This one we obviously can't go right. We can go left, and we can go down. Well, no, if we went down, we'd create a cycle. Now we certainly can't go up here, up here. We can't go down here, so we've got to go down here. We've got to go left here. Just like we thought. But it's good to know for sure. We can't go down. We can't go right. We can't go left. We have to go up. I think up here, right here, down here, right here works for everybody. There we go. Okay, cool. So we should be able to start from any spot on the puzzle, and we'll just be able to follow it to the black hole. We could try to find the longest chains, but sort of like we didn't know at the start of the puzzle where the start states were, but like there's no way into this square, but there is a way into this square and this square from here. And we could mark off all these chains, you know. This is the start state. This one, this one, this one. Yeah, kind of fun to look for those. But anyway. Okay. So also it's having trouble. Move CM context to a pre-step and pipe CM context into the prompt body. Okay. Two ways to read this bead. Reframe CM context as a mandatory first step. And CM add. Yeah. Could try that. Added in Gasity. I think that we should try number 1. We don't want to skip it. We don't want to write in the framework support. Let's do that one. The reason that we were trying to add CM context to the prompt, I think, is so that it would have that available when it was reasoning. But we might need to into the prompt. That way it can show up as needed in various, or if it's good enough, to get context into the session in the first step. Maybe that's enough. Okay, Roma. All roads lead to Roma. Look air. Ruquea. Blacken some grids, some cells. Black blocks are not orthogonally adjacent but may touch diagonally. Squares the same size must not see each other. In horizontal and vertical sightlines, at least one square of different size must be in between. A cell with a number defines a cross consisting of the cell and its up to 4 orthogonal neighbors. This indicates how many of these cells must be blackened. So it could be up to 5, itself and its 4 neighbors. This might be our last puzzle. Let's see if the mayor had any comment on what I said. Yeah, it'll file a follow-up bead. So at most one of these 3 must be blackened, and at least 3 of these must be blackened. So this one and this one for sure. At most 2 of these are going to be blackened. But these other 3 could be blackened too. They make squares. Right? Maybe that is going to color how we're going to do this next part. Squares the same side must not be able to see each other. So if you look at what happens when you stick a black block right here, there aren't any more here or here. And we can't make a square between here and here. Because if we colored in this, then we'd be creating this little wedge that has a notch that can never be filled. And this would be a 1x1 square that can see a 1x1 square. Therefore, we can't black that out. We have to shade this one to finish this 3 here. And we can't have this one to finish off this 1 here. Now for shading squares, we don't know how big this square is going to wind up, but we do know that we have to keep the square going. This is an okay puzzle so far. I think I'm enjoying some things about it. One interesting thing I'll note, say that we had a square like here, here, and here. For this 3, we would know that these ones couldn't be filled in, but we'd also know that we couldn't make a 3x3 square or larger from this. It's confined to this strip already, or it's got these holes. So we definitely can't fill in all 3 of these. We'd have to fill in at least 1 of these. And similarly, we can't fill in all 3 of these. We have to fill in 2 of these and 1 other one. It doesn't have to include the center necessarily. I'm sort of looking at what happens on this 4. Good to start with the sort of outlier ones. Like if I put a dot here, then I have to put 3 x's to complete this 4. And now I've created a shape that definitely can't be a square. So this can't be empty. And now, in order to complete this square, we've got to go at least to here. Because we're growing out from this corner. This 1 just got completed. So we've kind of found the right edge of our square. And actually, since it's a square, we know all the dimensions of it. We know that one of these 3 is a square. We wouldn't be totally sure of the size of it yet. Okie dokie. Skipped this session. Oh, shipped this session. Man. Okay, side findings worth noting. Pack V1 didn't work. A disabled order with the same name as an adoption shadows it via scans name-based override. Okay, great. Well, maybe that's a good place to leave it then. We have some follow-ups in the prototyping, as I recall. Smith task. A Smith ask the analyst. Let's move that along too. Sounds good. All right, and I guess we'll leave it at that. Well, I hope you enjoyed this gentle evening of puzzling plus mayoring. But yeah, it does seem like we managed to get a little bit more productive tonight. But keep trying. Have a good one.